Well, the appointed hour has arrived, so I want to welcome everyone. Special welcome to our members who are able to be here in person and also those attending virtually. I'm Fran, your cooperative's current chair of the board of directors. And at this time, I will call the meeting to order for the purpose of presenting our business reports, announcing our 2024 election results and bylaw changes, and also answering any member questions that come up. I will now designate Sara McGrane from Alison as parliamentarian and Krista Benjamin as recording secretary. Today we have our board of directors present. In District 1, we have Mark Ethan. District 2, Rick Bradstad and Mike Deuce. District 3, Shelley Peterson and myself. And District 4, Ken Furyk and Gordy Westerland. Our director candidates for this election, we've had 3 in District 1, Abel Evane, Mark A. Ethan, and Sam D. Valella. In District 3, it was myself, Fran Bator, and in District 4, we had Angie Ronaine. I'd also like to welcome our valued guests. We have Alison and Amanda Seeger. They are regional vice presidents of National Rural Utilities Cooperative Finance Corporation, along with Paige Miller, who is the associate vice president of National Rural Utilities Cooperative Finance Corporation. We have Matt Hale, who is vice president at Probate. We have Matt Grimley, lead researcher at the Electric Cooperative Innovation Center and research fellow at the Humphrey School of Public Affairs. We also have former Connexus Energy Director, Peter Wojciechowski, and we have Ron Schmitz of Great River Energy. So welcome to all of these special guests. We appreciate your partnership and taking time to attend our meeting today. Now on to our agenda items. The cooperative's bylaws state, at all meetings of the members, all questions shall be decided by a vote of a majority of the members, present in person or represented by mail vote, except as otherwise provided by law or the articles of incorporation or the bylaws of this cooperative. Therefore, as reported by the independent tabulation firm of Survey and Ballot Systems, with over 50 registered members in attendance and 9,757 members voting online and by mail, I declare a quorum for the director election of the annual meeting. We invite all members present in person to submit their questions regarding the cooperative reports today through the provided question cards. These are in your packet that you received when you came in, and these will be collected later by staff. We will be combining like questions, which will be answered during the time allotted at the end of our meeting today. I would now like to welcome our Chief Financial Officer, Jan Paul Martinez, to present our 2023 financial report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jan Paul Martinez. I'm the Chief Financial Officer here at Connexus Energy. Pleasure to be here today to provide you with the financial update. 2023 was a remarkable and financially strong year for Connexus. The strong financial performance allows us to continue to have competitive rates. Happy to report that there is no general rate increase in 2024. We successfully implemented and transitioned to a new customer power supply and transmission agreement, providing much needed flexibility. Connexus continues to rank in the top 5% in the nation on reliability, providing excellent and dependable service to to our members. We made significant improvements and investments in distribution plant and technology projects during the year, and we expect to continue that in 2024. Providing affordable and reliable service to our members is our highest priority. Now, let's look at the financial statements. I will begin with the income statement. In 2023, Connexus recorded a positive net margin of $10.3 million. This is higher than the previous year. Electric sales amounted to $256 million and wholesale power costs $177 million. We continue to grow and have reached 145,000 members, of which 91% are residential and 9% commercial and industrial. The total operating expenses amounted to $74 million. This amount is higher than the previous year. We experienced an increase in labor and operational costs due to inflationary environment we are operating in. Even though the growth of inflation has slowed, higher prices and elevated costs remain. Unfortunately, these have not gone down. We feel it every day, and certainly you do too. In an effort to keep operating costs low, we're focusing our efforts in identifying cost-saving opportunities and process improvement initiatives. We challenge our teams to identify ways to get the work done more efficiently and at a lower cost. In 2023, we saw an increase in kilowatt-hour sales as compared to the previous year, mainly due to new services and weather-related impacts. Our revenue mix remains constant at 68% residential and 32% commercial. As previously mentioned, our rates continue to be competitive. In 2023, our members experienced lower effective rates than in previous years. For example, an average monthly residential bill in 2023 was $113 as compared to $116 in 2022. We also saw a decrease in effective rates in our commercial bills. Important to note that Connexus overall rates are about 20% lower than our neighboring investor-owned utility, a true testament to a commitment to affordability. Finally, we experienced a decrease in power costs of approximately 6 to 7%, mainly due to favorable market pricing, as well as to our new customer power supply contract. We have been able to pass along those savings to our members with credit in your monthly bills. In 2023, total power cost credits, including member bills, amounted to $9.4 million. Now onto the balance sheet. Our balance sheet continues to be strong and growing. Total assets of $496 million, an increase as compared to last year. The biggest increase was in utility plant investments. This increase included substation upgrades, as well as road moves and other member-driven capital investments. Members have invested $223 million in equity capital, along with $151 million in long-term debt capital. During the past 2 years, we have been able to pay down long-term debt of approximately $10 million instead of refinancing at high interest rates. From a liquidity standpoint, we have secured ample liquidity from our two main lending partners, CSC and CoBank. We're also holding $20 million in cash and cash equivalents, amounting to 30 days cash in hand. I'm glad to report that we're in good standing with all our lenders. Annually, members receive patronage capital distributions or cashback based on their electric purchases during the year. Our positive financial results and cash flow allow us to return $8 million in cash back to members in 2023. We have averaged close to this amount during the past several years. Members receive cash back credit on their August electric bill. Be on the lookout for credit later on this year. We continue to operate in a challenging external environment that includes government mandates, increased taxation, higher cost of capital, high prices, and elevated interest rates. All these factors have an impact on the way we allocate resources and operate the business. The most significant business disruptor in the past several years has been supply chain issues. These challenges have contributed to significant price increases and extended lead times for critical materials and equipment we need. Even though some of these lead times have improved, costs remain elevated, creating additional headwinds in keeping our costs within budget. We expect these challenges to continue well into 2024. So each year, Connexus received independent reviews from external parties. Connexus Board of Directors engaged Bailey to audit the 2023 financial statements. As expected, Connexus received from the independent auditors an unqualified, clean opinion. Also, we received a credit rating review from Fitch Ratings. Fitch reviewed our financial performance and projections. They issued a report affirming Connexus' investment grade rating of A- and upgraded our outlook from stable to positive, which is a great news. We're doing what we said we were going to do and executing on our financial and strategic plans. Let me conclude by affirming that Connexus is financially strong. Our commitment to you is to continue to work day in and day out to secure the financial strength necessary to provide you, our members, with safe, affordable, and reliable electricity. Thank you. Now our President and CEO, Sidney Jackson, will present the business result.
Thank you, John Paul. Before I begin, I'd like to thank Chair Bator for your more than 30 years of service to Connexus Energy as a board member, providing utility oversight and utility policy direction. Thank you, Madam Chair. Once again, I'd like to say good afternoon and welcome to the Connexus board meeting. This is my first board meeting and it's my pleasure to be with you today. As a matter of introduction, again, I am Sidney Jackson. I am newly appointed to the Chief Executive Officer position, succeeding Greg Ritterbush, who has retired. As I've shared with Connexus leadership and staff, it's an honor to be selected as the Chief Executive and President of our electric cooperative. While we have transitioned Chief Executives, the Connexus member fundamentals will remain. We will continue our commitment of providing service to our valued Connexus members, and this commitment extends to delivering value as your energy provider. So just a little bit about myself. I have deep roots in the state of Minnesota, where I spent almost all of my professional career executing, building, and developing energy policy and energy markets in the Midwest while also leading electric utility organizations. I count Minnesota as home. As I have over the last 30 years, Minnesota is where I've raised and educated my family, and I stand as a proud parent whose son graduated from both a Minnesota State University as well as attending a local metro area high school after attending K through 12 in the metro area. So I'd like to transition to spending the next few minutes talking about some of the transformational changes in our industry and some of the transformational issues and opportunities and challenges that we have before us at Connexus. I'd like to emphasize that it's a year that we should celebrate, driven by the exceptional operational and financial performance of Connexus. There are many initiatives, and I'll lay out 7 of them here, and I'll try to describe the noteworthiness of them as I go through them. First, as John Paul, our VP and CFO stated, we have observed continued growth in Connexus membership. As member accounts continue to increase, affirming the vibrancy of member communities that we serve. In summary, Connexus is growing and we welcome the many growth opportunities before us. Secondly, Connexus saw continued growth and innovation in various ways as we engage our members in a number of ways, often referred to as operational digitization. This can be seen across programs such as EV programs, rooftop solar programs, and peak time rebate programs. We will continue these programs, and they have grown over time. Thirdly, Connexus continues to be a leader in battery or energy storage deployment ahead of other Minnesota utilities. Connexus uses energy storage technology to the benefit of our membership, and we are actively expanding our energy storage capabilities where it makes sense. Fourthly, and perhaps most impactfully, in 2023, Minnesota Governor Walz signed the new carbon-free standards into law, requiring all Minnesota utilities to provide 100% carbon-free energy from carbon-free resources by 2040. This represents a sea change in renewable targets and mandates for Connexus Energy and other statewide utilities. Also in 2023, Connexus developed a 10-year resource plan, which was drafted after engagement with our membership, a plan that was subsequently adopted by our board of directors. Additionally, Connexus aims to continue our investment in operational safety with its Aim for Zero campaign, a program that also expands our safety outreach to local third parties such as contractor and excavators. And finally, in 2023, the first full year of operations under our new agreement with Great River Energy. Well, Connexus and Great River Energy now function under a customer framework versus the legacy member participation framework. These are just a few high-level observations from 2093, many of which carry over into 2024 and beyond. 2023 was a year where Connexus Energy, through its innovation, continues to deliver on our mission and vision while providing value to our membership. So I'd like to move on to operating results. I'm pleased to report strong operational results for 2023. We realized favorable results under new power supply and transmission compacts, as previously stated by John Paul, our VP and CFO. Our financial performance was 8% better than forecast, enabling Connexus Energy to provide the bill credits that John Paul talked about. And these bill credits were a significant benefit to our membership, as the average of member bills were the same or lower as compared to 2022. This exceptional performance was in part, and I emphasize in part, a result of our new power supply flexibility and generation supply and resource options that were previously not available. I'd like to speak very briefly about reliability. Connexus Energy achieved one of its best years in service reliability. The reliability track record of Connexus is one of what I call industry distinction. We are well positioned to extend into the 6th consecutive year a top 5% industry-wide performance in the reliability area. Looking at our most recent reliability statistics, on average, a Connexus customer experiences a loss of power event not caused by a major storm at the rate of almost once every 4 years. And again, the reliability performance of Connexus over the last 6 years represents operational excellence and demonstrates our commitment to continuous improvement. So achievement of reliability results that are top of class is not a coincidence, but it is often a byproduct of our willingness to commit and continue our capital investment in our infrastructure. Or as more simply stated, our capital investment strategy has and continues to pay dividends. Capital investment is necessary to ensure that we meet the growth, that we continue our enhanced reliability, and those are important considerations. For instance, we completed a new substation, one of the first substations we've built in more than a decade, while also completing upgrades to some of our system's oldest stations. In addition, we've successfully completed the 2nd year of the 10-year plan to convert existing overhead to underground construction. These investments are substantial, and they will increase the safety of our crews while also decreasing service interruptions and simultaneously providing beautification benefit to our members. I'm also pleased to report and re-emphasize that there's no general rate increase for 2024 as previously stated. I'd like to emphasize again that this is an exceptional result given the inflationary headwinds. And when we talk about inflation, we've already mentioned supply chain constraints, but there are a variety of other inflationary pressures, such as the impact of key commodities, the price escalation. Common to our industry is copper and aluminum and some of these other precious metals. They've had significant increases over the last 3 to 5 years. We also manage our operations in a stubbornly elevated interest rate environment. In retrospect, Connexus Energy has maintained stable rates in contrast to some of our neighboring utilities that have a comparative track record of nearly double-digit rate increases. Again, those double-digit rate increases are very dissimilar to Connexus Energy. Again, pleased to forecast 0 general rate increase for 2024. I'd like to move to our resource plan. I'd like to thank the Connexus team for the development of the 10-year resource plan. As we went about developing this plan, we engaged the community, our member community, through our stakeholder working group. And the feedback received was a core part of the resource plan development. Our resource plan co-optimizes across many factors to include meeting both regulatory and industry compliance requirements. Equally important in Connexus resource plan is that it builds upon the programs that our Connexus members currently enjoy, such as the 17,000 members enrolled in peak time rebate, as well as the 900 members that participate in our EV subscription plans, and the 1,200 rooftop solar installations, which is nearly double of what we had in previous years. Our comprehensive 10-year resource plan not only examines our generation resource needs, but reflects and builds upon the demand response of resources within our system. I am pleased to report that Connexus staff is actively working to execute this resource plan as adopted by our board of directors. The technological innovation of Connexus Energy has recently been noticed nationally. Fast Company, a nationally recognized media brand, has recognized Connexus Energy as one of America's most innovative companies. This national recognition is the first for an electric cooperative and just the 5th electric utility to be recognized in the award's 16-year history. This is another of many opportunities to celebrate the innovativeness of Connexus Energy, its team members, and the organization. In addition to that, the Star Tribune in the last several weeks ran a feature story that showed how Connexus has been using grid-scale batteries and storage to generate electricity to the benefit of our membership. Clearly, Connexus Energy, as Fast Company noted, is an industry leader. I'll talk real quickly about RPS, Renewable Portfolio Standards requirements. As we look forward, Connexus Energy and all electric utilities in the state have a compliance requirement framed by the state of Minnesota's new Energy Clean Energy Standard. As a standard which requires, as I've stated previously, 100% carbon-free electricity by 2040, with interim targets in 2030 and 2025. Moving forward, we will be assuring that we are doing our part in fulfilling Minnesota's requirements, and we are on target to meet the 2030 state renewable requirements as framed by our resource plan. Additionally, Connexus Energy, as the largest electric cooperative in the state, welcomes a broader role with our peer utilities, as we have a responsibility to work with our legislative leaders as we communicate some of the challenges and concerns with some of these energy policies. And it's important that we do this as we represent our member communities. Economic development is an important consideration. One of the things as we have done is we've looked at our resource plan. There is an indirect economic activity associated with the investments that we will be making over the next 10 years, as framed by our resource plan. Our independent studies forecast that our resource plan will create economic benefit for our members to the tune of $331 million in local economic output. We'll contribute $180 million to local gross domestic product, support 150 local jobs while creating $129 million of local labor income. And finally, the Connexus resource plan is expected to generate $122 million in tax revenues for our member communities. Looking ahead, it's clear that Connexus is a key partner for the economic growth in our regions of central Minnesota and metro areas that we serve. As we make these investments, we will be looking to aggressively partner with various federal agencies in the pursuit of grants and other programs that are available to cooperatives such as ourselves to assist our membership in the clean energy transition. This includes pursuing grants in coordination with the USDA Rural Utilities Service, or RUS, the IRA, Inflation Reduction Act, and DOE Department of Energy. These grant opportunities have the potential to mitigate or lessen rate impacts to Connexus members as we move through the clean energy transition. This concludes the Chief Executive's report. Alison Miles, our Vice President of Members, will speak to member considerations next. Alison.
Thank you, Sidney. You've heard about the great financial and organizational results that we achieved over the past year. But the innovative spirit at Connexus doesn't end in how we operate the business. It continues into the many ways in which we connect with our community. Cooperatives have 7 core principles that distinguish us from other business models. Sorry. You can see those behind me and have heard them reflected in the presentations of Jan Paul and Sidney. Yes, that means providing reliable, affordable electric service. But we believe that it should mean so much more. And I get to illustrate the ways in which Connexus lives out the cooperative principle of concern for community. Concern for community means that we are committed to working for the sustainable development of our community. But what does that look like? And why do we do it? Well, as a member-owned cooperative, we live and work right here, and we serve our neighbors. One of the primary ways we're able to serve our community is through the Connexus Energy Foundation. In the past 3 years alone, Connexus has given over $1 million to charitable organizations within our community. These dollars come from the unclaimed cash back of former members and can either be returned to the government under unclaimed property law or invested in nonprofit organizations within the community. Naturally, investing them in our community felt like a better fit for Connexus. We donate those dollars within 4 key areas of support: youth and education, community service, environmental stewardship, and economic and workforce development. Here are just a couple examples of how those dollars have been spent. We've given hundreds of scholarships to high school seniors and tech colleges for students who reside within our service territory. These scholarships help make continuing education more affordable for our members and better equip our future workforce to serve our businesses. We're excited to be offering scholarships to students who are participating in our annual meeting today, and welcome those of you here. We also donate to food shelves, emergency housing, research and support for individuals dealing with disease, arts and educational experiences for students, and many, many more. We pair those donations with the hands-on efforts of our employees through our Connexus Cares team and organizational support for employee volunteering. We believe that it is critical our employees feel connected to our community and work alongside those fabulous organizations that help support a thriving community for all. That commitment to concern for community carries over into how we make business decisions. In 2014, we went to build our very first solar project. The first design called for gravel under and around the panels, but we learned that we could do better. We hired native vegetation experts to establish a perennial low-growing meadow. We practiced stewardship of the land under and around the solar panels. Instead of mowing again and again and again several times a year, our solar projects are thoughtfully designed and managed. And it just so happens that the practice is cheaper over the life of the project and also reflects the values of our community. And we're extending that innovative spirit now with the project occurring right here at our Ramsey Solar Garden. One of our members is Big River Farms, a nonprofit that trains hundreds of new and immigrant farmers on sustainable specialty crop growing and business practices. Together with program manager Kazua Berry, US Solar, NREL, and Great Plains Institute, we are piloting a set of safe practices to allow farmers to farm land under and around our solar arrays. Land access is a major challenge for new farmers. We're interested in seeing if this approach can be a part of the solution. Concern for the community also means ensuring safety for our members. We provide electrical safety demonstrations for audiences young and old throughout our service territory, educating them on how to be safe around electricity. And to drive home that message, we provide activity books and follow-up resources to those audiences, which now includes our most recent partnership on a new coloring book that educates children on the benefits of dual-use solar. We know that kids and adults learn better when they are engaged with the material. So we strive to provide a wide range of experiences to educate our members and ensure their safety. I'm also delighted to share that we were able to provide the renewable energy credits to support the production of a new board game coming out this summer. Catan New Energies, whose English language publisher and distributor is located right here in Minnesota. And for those who might be more into adrenaline than activity books and board games, we partnered with the Big Air Tour to engage our membership regarding all kinds of new electric technologies, including electric motorcycles. The Big Air Tour, which will perform at both the Anoka and Washington County fairs this year, highlights the latest advancements in all types of electric vehicles and does so in a way that is unquestionably cool. Finally, when we're talking about sustainable development of the community, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our ongoing focus on the kind of economic growth that moves our community forward. Connexus has partnered with cities and counties within our service territory to create the Minnesota Technology Corridor, a key area near where 35W and 35E meet that has significant opportunity for future development and growth. We were excited to see Amazon select a site in Centerville. Amazon will be adding a fleet of electric vehicles at that site, and we're happy to partner with them for the benefit of the community. With our newly gained power supply flexibility, we're able to prioritize investments in the communities we serve. This means we're able to site an increasing share of our electric generation right here in our service territory, which continues our commitment to safe, reliable, and affordable service. This isn't just some corporate social responsibility plan that checks an ethics box. It's a passionate commitment to the betterment of the community that we serve and the community that we call home. We believe that member engagement is key to the success of our organization, and engaging our members, engaging you, means meeting you where you're at in our community and showing how we're investing to help our community thrive. Thank you. And with that, I'll hand the meeting back to Chair Bator.
Thank you, Alison, for your wonderful report on concern for community. At this time, I would ask those who have written out any questions that they may have to please hold your cards up, and we will have staff members come along and collect those questions. Anyone else? Thank you so much. Before I start with my remarks, I just want to thank you, Sidney, for your first annual meeting report. We are so thrilled to have you on board, and we look forward to working with you closely with your vast experience of skills, talents that you bring. And we're just excited about the future at Connexus, and we're excited that you'll be leading the charge. So thank you for joining us. What a remarkable year 2023 has been. There is much to celebrate, and that's why we chose that topic. Jan Paul reported on our strong financial performance, including no general rate increase for 2024. As an electric cooperative, we know that you expect our service to be affordable. You also expect electric service to always be there. With great appreciation for all Connexus team members, we are pleased to report the best year ever for Connexus Energy's electric system service reliability. For 2023, Connexus continues to rank in the top 5% in the nation on reliability. Let's give those folks a round of applause and appreciation. We are also appreciative of the legacy of service left by our departing and retiring board members, Michael Cady, Ken Farrick, and Gordy Westerland, as well as our now retired CEO, Greg Ritterbush. Our community is better for your service and leadership, so thank you so much. Speaking of community, I was pleased to accept this uniquely shaped honor. It is uniquely shaped. From Upstream Initiative. It recognizes our employees and connects us as an unsung caretaker for the service and care given to the communities in which we serve. Care for community, affordability, and reliability result from sound judgment, values, and expertise, which is exactly what good governance looks like. And this brings me to a simmering challenge to how member-owned utilities govern our systems. As mentioned at last year's annual meeting, since 1937, our democratically elected boards have successfully governed our utilities in compliance with all laws and regulations. Members who own Connexus enjoy affordable rates and exceptional reliability. Our membership has accomplished this with local board governance. We act in service to members with transparency and communication because it's the right thing to do, not because of state oversight or threats of state intervention. We went to the Capitol earlier this year with a simple message. Come, visit us, get to know us, get to know a co-op. We advise caution to avoid mandates, which change local governance and stifles the energy of innovation. After all, it was innovation and good governance that led us to pursue new power supply and transmission contracts, providing the remarkable benefits that Jan Paul and Sidney mentioned earlier, while also putting us in a good position for the long term. Connexus members voted unanimously in 1937 to form our electric cooperative. At the time, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt formed the Rural Utility Service. They were offering to local farmers a hand up to compete with the investor-owned utilities that refused to serve rural areas. Hard-working rural people wanted a fair shot at competing for economic development, along with the comforts and the convenience that electric service could provide. Well, Minnesotans are a hard-working bunch, but maybe we're a little bit too polite. Minnesota has become the nation's most generous payer state, meaning we pay $6.88 in federal taxes for every $1 of federal resources invested in Minnesota. Both North Dakota and Iowa are closer to $1 paid and $1 returned. We can all sit and complain about paying too much in the first place, but at Connexus, we are going to bring those dollars back to invest in our hardworking central Minnesota communities. Considering Minnesota's regulatory requirements, in combination with the significant proactive investments that we know we need to make, federal funding can change the economics to benefit all of our members. Leveraging our record of operational excellence and newly gained flexibility, we are pursuing those funds with maximum ambition. Starting first with our 10-year power supply plan, your electric cooperative will further accelerate local economic development right here in central Minnesota and the North Metro area. That is something we're celebrating. Now, I'm not just proud to serve as chair of Connexus Energy's board of directors. I'm also a proud mother of 5 wonderful and hardworking grown children. As a mom and as a board chair, safety is my #1 priority. By intentionally cultivating a culture of safety, we train employees to arrive safe to work safe, and then to return home safe each and every day. Safety education implanted in good practices keeps our employees and our communities safe. To reinforce Sidney's message, it is an incredible privilege to be serving a cooperative at this unique time. I hope that you will send your friends and colleagues to the careers page of our website and inspire young people in your life to pursue engineering and other skills that prepare them for a role with the cooperative. In closing, I look to the horizon with optimism, not at a sunset, but at a fresh new day for Connexus and its members. Thank you very much. I now turn the meeting back to Sidney Jackson for the question and answer portion.
Hi everybody, my name is Sara McGrane and they are still sorting your questions, so that means there's a lot of them, which is a great sign. So we're going to jump ahead to the official results and we'll get back to the questions at the end. So I'm going to report now on the results of both the Board of Directors elections as well as the bylaw amendments. And as you heard earlier, there are 4 Board of Directors seats on this year's ballots. All are 3-year terms and they are in districts 1, 3, and 4. And in accordance with the cooperative's bylaws, voting is at large, and therefore members are able to vote in any election or all elections. The bylaws state that the candidates who receive the most votes will be elected, and they begin their term immediately, which means today. And in cases of a tie, the bylaws also state that the tie is decided by a flip of a coin. We don't have that situation today. There are also 2 bylaw amendments on the 2024 ballot that members were asked to vote on, and those results will also be announced. Survey and Ballot Systems has sent their certified results of the election through a secure portal, and the results are provided as follows. First, I'm going to give you a little bit of background on the number of eligible voters, and that was 132,170. We had 6,597 paper ballots returned, 2,949 web ballots returned. There were 17 duplicate ballots, which resulted in 2,932 final web ballots. On-site ballots were 17, so our total returns were 9,546, which resulted in 7.22% of our members voting. In District 4, Angie Ronayne received 8,625 votes, which is 100%, and she is our newly elected director. Congratulations. We had 921 unexercised ballots for a total ballots cast in that election of 9,546. In District 3, Fran Bator received 8,513 votes, which is 100% and is the decision. There were 1,033 unexercised ballots, so the total ballots cast in that election were 9,546. In District 1, we had 2 seats open, so voters elected 2 directors in that. Mark Ethan received 7,192 votes, or 76.3% of the votes, and he is reelected as a director. Sam Vieja received 4,320 votes, or 45.8% of the votes, and he is also elected as a director. Abel Abanye received 4,167 votes, for 44.2% of the votes. The total ballots cast in that election were 9,423. There were 118 unexercised ballots, and 5 were declared invalid, for a total number of ballots cast of 9,546. For the first bylaw amendment, that passed by 88.8%, with 8,264 votes in favor, 1,047 votes against. For the second bylaw amendment, we had 90.8% vote in favor and 9.2% vote against. So again, both bylaw amendments do pass. And with that, I thank you for your election results, and I'll turn the meeting back over to Mr. Jackson to address some of the questions.
Thank you, Sara. So we do have a number of questions. I'll try to step through them as effectively and efficiently as I can. Some of them are technical. Let me start with this one. Does Connexus Energy buy excess energy from customers who generate power via renewables? What is its impact today and in the future to other members? So the answer is yes, we do buy energy from customers that generate. There's a net energy rate. It's in our tariff. It's also codified in PUC laws and regulations. So we do follow those sensibilities. By show of hands, does any members have rooftop solar? So we do have one. So you can affirm what I speak to in terms of net energy rate to the extent that you produce more than you actually use. So what is its impact today and in the future? What I tried to mention during the presentation is to speak to our resource plan does respect and does leverage net energy, rooftop solar, and how it participates in our system. To a large degree, it reduces the load for many hours of the day, obviously. Another question. Energy prices nationally are up. Are up 29% according to the Labor Department OPI. How does that square with the narrative that prices are going down? So I don't know what you actually mean by energy prices are up nationally. We have coal prices, you got flexibility in natural gas prices. You also have other components, the power supply prices of new solar, new wind, all of those have a measure of volatility. However, at Connexus Energy, our rates have remained stable over the last 3 years as we've been able to absorb some of these cost increases that we have experienced. Another question we have is it necessary to ground a Faraday cage? When you speak of a Faraday cage, again, it's a giant copper spear which is used to block external signals such as radio signals, etc. Any signals that would be, generally it's a good practice to ground a Faraday cage or ground anything today with two-way flow. Again, a very, very technical question. As a solar flare hits Earth, will the electrical grid be affected? Solar flares happen routinely. They happen on its system. NERC, the North American Energy Reliability Corporation, does put out reliability warnings when there are solar activity that may impact the conductivity or the magnetic bonds of the transmission system. So this is something that is effectively managed. There are some mitigation that can be done, but generally it is something that we as a utility, we as an industry manage around. If the solar flare happens, what will happen to the solar panels? Low risk of damage, just essentially due to the low voltage sensibility associated with them. Let's see what else we have. Long-term debt reduction with current higher interest rates. it's more of a statement, I guess, but we have had $10 million of debt reduction over the last 2 years. How does the 2040 mandate for carbon-free affect member electricity costs in the future? That is a very complex question that depends a lot on how the carbon-free initiative is actually implemented over a number of years. Generally speaking, any carbon-free initiative has upward pressure on rates, and I'll leave it generally at this particular time. How does Connexus accomplish 2040 mandate and balance higher cost of interest on capital investment without substantial future rate increases? Well, one of the things we are looking at in terms of the 2040 mandate and some of the interim 2030 compliance requirements is potential grants. As I talked about in my presentation, we are looking to partner with the DOE, RUS, and others in terms of grants and the IRA for grid hardening, for increasing the capabilities and resiliency of our distribution and operating systems. That concludes the questions I have received. I don't have the agenda in front of me. Chair, is next. Thank you.
I just wanted to mention too that we have all of our VPs present here on the back wall. So if you do have other questions that you didn't ask, they will be here after the meeting and you can visit with them a little bit. Now is kind of the fun part. We have drawings, and Survey and Ballot Systems draws the voting incentive winners and has provided all of these names for us. We are particularly grateful to Green Valley Garden Center and Weber for their generous donations. So the winners of the 4 voting incentive drawings, these will be $50 bill credits. For week 1 was William Connell. Week 2, Alan Butler. Week 3, Carolyn Scott. And week 4, Matt Spencer. We also have 3 gift baskets. The spring planting basket with electric pruning shears was won by Jeffrey Severson. The Get Grilling basket with Weber Lumen Electric Grill was won by Adam Klinkhammer. And the Sweet Surprise basket with SolarWise Honey was won by Barry Patnick. All of these winning members will be notified and arrangements will be made to receive their prizes. At this time, I'd like to thank the Connexus Energy Foundation for donating $4,000 for our new scholarship giveaway. If you've looked around the room a little bit, you've noticed that we've got a lot of younger people attending. These are either high school, junior, senior, or college students. We especially welcome you. They are anxious to hear whether or not they are winners of these scholarships. So, as I say your name, will you please stand? This was one that we required that they must be present to win the scholarship. And then when I've announced all 4, if you would please go to the back of the room, we would like you to meet with Stacy. Stacy, wave your arm. Meet with her just for a moment after the meeting is adjourned. First winner for the scholarship, Brandon Forsyth. Second winner, Catherine James. Third winner, I apologize if I don't say this right, but it's Justin Croez. And the 4th winner is Zachary Davis. Congratulations to all of these scholars. scholarship participants or winners, and we thank all of you for coming to be a part of this first scholarship foundation getaway. And good luck to each and every one of you as you pursue your higher education. At this time, I will say congratulations and welcome to Sam Balloting and Angie Ronayne as our newly elected directors. We look forward to serving together and working to move the cooperative forward. Directors, please remember that we need to be joined together in the boardroom so that we can do our reorganizational meeting after this meeting is done. So with that, that concludes our agenda. I would entertain a motion and a second for adjournment. Motion. Second. Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The motion passes. We are adjourned, and I thank you again for attending our annual meeting this year, and I hope to see each of you next year at our annual meeting. Thank you.